Hello my friend, thanks for joining once again on the channel. As you know, I'm spending a lot of efforts on creating all these infrastructure security course for free. You do have the last lesson was published at the beginning of the month. We were at Chapter 2, Lesson 7. If you are confused, remember that here you are having a full syllabus with all topic that we are discussing. The last time we looked at how standardize infrastructure as a service, PaaS and function as a service. Today is the time for the service mesh, VPC and SD-WAN networking issues. So what I'm going to discuss today is a complex topic in terms of how routing is evolving. We are evolving from something that was strictly layer 3 and is still layer 3, layer 4 in some way, because you are using IP address, you are using security groups in VPC. So VPC is the networking component of an infrastructure as a service. Each cloud service provider call it differently, but the concept is still a virtual gateway where all connectivity are passing through in the same way a network router would act at the time that is publishing a public IP. So the problem is that on Kubernetes you are having the capabilities to connect each service through a service mesh. The service mesh will allow to have full visibility of any connectivity across web services, and something like Istio that I advocate multiple times in my on all this talk is one of the best way to do it. But there is a big issue because the world is moving to application routing. You are aware of how application routing is implemented on SD-WAN and how this one is anyway one of the key part of any load balancer, a good part of any A/B testing, where you are doing anyway application routing across two different versions of the same application. And you are aware of how it's difficult to join and create an infrastructure that makes sense from a routing perspective if one is only at layer 3 and the rest is at layer 7. So an application routing at layer 7 is the one that gives you more control and more capabilities in terms of elaborating the HTTP request and elaborating also the response. Now, in Kubernetes, use a service mesh. Full stop. Istio is a good option for that, and you are okay. On VPC, in general, in infrastructure as a service, you'll find anyway load balancer component. There is where you generally do application routing. In SD-WAN, you are capable to do the same on each edge. If tomorrow we will have as a standard integrated in the cloud an edge SD-WAN, you'll find that this functionality of a load balancer into the cloud is redundant because it's already done by the SD-WAN edge in cloud. Now, how do you do and which kind of networking issue you are having? First of all, unify the rules across all different components is quite tricky. So there is where a CDN with a web application firewall in front would always make sense. You are capable to have just one visibility into the public space. You'll be sure to not get the CDN bypassed, and you'll always have only the IP of a CDN capable to contact each resource. That's the best way. If you go for this type of standardization, you'll have a way easier standard across all application routing, all A/B testing, everything. A/B testing is the next topic, so I'm trying to avoid to discuss that in this conversation. But remember, if you do have a service mesh into your Kubernetes, but you have other resources into an infrastructure as a service, you need to be capable to have a proper security control on who connect to what. In that case, is not the network component itself to give you that, but is probably an API gateway. So trying to be sure that you never terminate the API gateway call directly into a pod, and always use a proper structure. Another problem that you'll have with SD-WAN is that SD-WAN application routing it was designed originally to allow an on-prem, for example with SD-WAN Edge, to define which link will be used, for example, for a critical application to have more bandwidth. Now, that type of application routing is extremely basic and is just about the link, not about something else. So at the time that the SD-WAN will evolve, we will start to have firewall into the SD-WAN that are capable to police like some of the layer 7 firewall do, in a more intelligent manner, filtering directly there. But so far is a null forwarding across links. So remember, load balancing is not a security device, but can do a lot onto that space. So my suggestion to recap, focus on where you have poor layer 3 routing and where you are capable to do application routing. Trying to standardize that layer and trying to be capable to use the CDN to shield. Remember that the attacker should be stopped more far away from the environment itself. It's always better to stop it at the CDN than directly into your NJX close to your resources. Okay? And overall, understand how you are connecting all layers and how you find a standardization. There is a lot in VMware space, for example, from a networking perspective, to create security policy. That is really a good approach as well. You need to create more than you can a unified place where to have application routing policies. And you need to be capable to distinguish to which web service you are talking. For all API, just use an API gateway. That's my 2 cents. I hope you appreciate this quick food for thought. Keep tuning, subscribe the channel. You'll get notified when new content is coming out. I'm trying to be consistent, and I want to seriously keep going with this course and release everything for free. Okay? Thanks.